Did you go out surfing and come home with dizziness or vertigo? This can happen sometimes, and it has happened to my husband a number of times, where he goes out surfing in San Diego and then he comes out of the water and he has vertigo and he can barely bike home. He's weaving all over the road on his bike, probably looks like he's drunk, and then comes home a shade of green, and I have to try to figure out what is going on. So he inspired this video. I am the Vertigo detective, Kim Bell, and as a reminder, this is not individual medical advice. I offer this topic for educational and informational purposes only. Now let's get into it. A very common cause, and the first thing I cover in this article that I wrote, is swimmer's ear. So this typically co-occurs with one of your ears being swollen, itchy, red, or painful after you were in the water. So other feelings that can go along with this include a feeling of fullness, drainage from your ear, reduced hearing, possibly even in that ear. You may also have a slight fever or swollen lymph nodes nearby. This condition is called otitis externa, which is more commonly known as swimmer's ear. And this typically won't develop right when you get out of the water. It's going to take a couple days for this to incubate. Swimmer's ear can contribute to dizziness or vertigo after surfing, and this is typically due to a bacterial or fungal infection in your outer ear canal. If untreated, this condition can get worse. You can go to urgent care if you think you have an ear infection that's contributing to vertigo after surfing. Your primary care doctor can also help you with this if you can get in to see them without a long delay. Your healthcare provider can give you ear drops to treat this particular condition. If you have salt water trapped in your ear that does not eventually drain, you could develop this swimmer's ear. We looked at swimmer's ear. Now let's look at another condition, which is most common in people who have been surfing for a long time. And this is going to be called surfer's ear. Surfer's ear can cause vertigo after surfing. The medical name for this condition is external auditory exostosis, EAE. In this condition, the ear canal will narrow and close up over time due to the buildup of earwax and debris inside the ear. Again, this is going to be these kind of lifelong surfers. If you've been surfing for a long time and you feel like your ears are not clearing like they used to, you can seek a consult with an ENT to get checked for surfer's ear. If you're diagnosed with EAE, your ENT can recommend a medical procedure possibly to treat surfer's ear. You may or may not be a candidate for that. You can also use earplugs specially made to prevent surfer's ear, and that way you don't necessarily have to give up what you love. One of the most common causes of vertigo after surfing is BPPV. So this is the third condition we'll talk about, and this is the one that my husband has come home with a couple times from surfing. How does this happen? Well, it's like he bonks his head on the floor of the ocean, or he bonks his head on the surfboard, and then it causes crystals to come loose in his ear. One of the most common causes of vertigo after surfing is BPPV. This is a disorder caused by loose crystals displaced within the canals of the inner ear. If you notice momentary vertigo occurring when you lie down in bed, roll over in bed, or getting up out of bed, then BPPV could be the cause of your vertigo after surfing. BPPV is typically going to be treated by a vestibular healthcare provider, might be a physical therapist like myself, or maybe a doctor who specializes in dizziness or vertigo. I have a lot of content on this channel and in my blogs on BPPV if you want to learn more. The most popular video I have on this channel about BPPV is called FAQ, Why Do I Feel Dizzy When I Lie Down or Roll Over in Bed? Okay, now we will cover the fourth cause of vertigo after surfing. This is something a lot of people don't think about, but my husband has also had this, I believe. Whiplash injury to your neck. How can this happen? This can happen if you get totally rocked while you're surfing and you land really hard at some point, kind of snapping your neck to the side, backwards, however you may kind of snap your neck as you hit the surface of the water, or if you get tumbled in more whitewash after you came off your board. So you can get a whiplash injury to your neck while you are surfing. If your vertigo after surfing also comes along with neck pain, neck stiffness, or tension headaches, which is headaches that occur across the forehead, like up here, or the back of your skull. So back of the skull headaches, or headaches across the forehead. Sometimes they can even feel like a swim cap squeezing your head kind of all around. If you feel the tension headaches, neck pain, or neck stiffness started at the same time as your dizziness or vertigo started after surfing, it's possible maybe you sustained a whiplash injury. And so you may need to get treatment or care for your neck, possibly. The fifth cause of vertigo after surfing is a possible concussion. So this is something we don't think about a lot. But it's possible if you hit your head on the ocean floor, especially, or on your surfboard really hard, you can get a concussion. Even minor concussions can cause vertigo after surfing. So think about if you bonked your head really hard while you were surfing, it's possible you have a concussion. People with a concussion may have a normal brain CT scan or brain MRI, because a lot of times a concussion is from chemical changes, like inflammation inside the brain can create the concussion symptoms. There may not be any imaging that's going to show any kind of brain bruise or brain bleed, especially in minor concussion cases. It won't show up necessarily on a lot of brain scans, but you can still have concussion related symptoms from the inflammation and the chemical changes in the brain. One good thing is post-concussive symptoms and dizziness from concussions typically clears up within 2 weeks on its own without medical intervention, especially if you avoid sugar and alcohol and you take anti-inflammatory measures like eating food with antioxidants and things like that. The concussion will typically clear up on its own within 2 weeks. So a lot of times if I have a patient that has a suspected new concussion, as long as I'm certain they don't also have BPPV, which are the ear crystals, I will talk to them about their diet and how they can use their diet to help reduce inflammation, and then just kind of give them a 2-week rest period. And it's very possible the concussion-related symptoms will just go away. If not, maybe they do need concussion rehab if the symptoms go on longer than 2 weeks. They might need some intervention. Frequently, patients with concussions do need a multidisciplinary team approach. In a lot of cases, it takes about 6 months for the post-concussion symptoms to completely resolve, but that varies case by case. I hope this video was helpful if you feel like your dizziness or vertigo started after surfing. I hope this gave you 5 possible causes of vertigo after surfing, as well as some idea of what you might be able to do as a next step. First and foremost, I always recommend talking to your primary care doctor and seeking individual medical advice. I hope you feel better soon.